the space for 2 months now, went to funding the commons, etc., very into the regen movement. And a lot of people suggested that I onboard to TEC, and I've been enjoying it so much and feeling so welcome. So yeah, nice to meet you.
Great to have you here. So in the Softgov Working Group, we look into the culture state. How is the community doing? How is the culture doing? And the initial purpose of this working group was to implement Elinor Ostrom's 8 principles into our cultural build. And now we've been kind of maintaining them, understanding ways to improve things that might not be working, and also understanding the governance framework that is not on chain that was proposed by Softgov. So yeah, today actually I wanted to make a quick intro just for us to get started. Let me share. So I want to know what has been inspiring you guys lately. Is there a person or a thing or a book or something you heard or experienced that feels like a present inspiration right now? And I'll pass to NT to start.
Thanks. I would say right now my parents, particularly my dad. Nothing. I mean, he's special, but it's not like nothing special happened lately. Just I don't know. I've just felt really connected with him lately, and inspired by his work ethic and how he carries himself. And with that, I'll pass it over to Seti.
Thanks, Santi. I got an easy one. Grief. Like after Keystone, I watched Keystone like 3 or 4 times. It's a lot. I don't know. I was all my way like it was revolution. We need to make things happen. And then like he changed my mind. Like he hacked on my brain. I'm so excited right now for revolution. And yeah, like I even been listening. Topic like when someone is carrying guns or whatever. It's like even if you're doing it on your own freedom, you are forcing others to carry also them because they have to, otherwise their human rights are going to be below. And it's like, yeah, I don't know. I've been thinking a lot about that, and yeah, really inspired by grief and evolution. I think that's the way. No revolution. Revolution sucks. I'll pass it to Idem.
My main source of inspiration right now, I'm originally from Istanbul. I live in Chicago, but now I'm in Berlin. Actually, I visited my mom's best friend for the first time. We're spending this much time together, and she's been such an inspirational person for me. And actually, if you know Sadhguru, he's just an amazing guru. They like a great spiritual thinker, and share very compassionate. I love his work and just approach to life. And she's the first and only person that I actually had kind of shared my passion for Sadhguru. So we've been just doing a lot of Sadhguru readings and just thinking about life. And I just really admire how she she's so in tune with her energy, her energetic field, and she's very compassionate and just really deep, profound talks we've been having this past week. So it's been very, very special. And I pass it to Bear.
Yeah, thank you. So for me, I think similar to Andy, I will also say my parents are just a constant source of inspiration for the way they've like raised me. But maybe just to mention something else, I also feel maybe just the moment that we're living in, like in the world, like with all of these things happening. Although from one perspective, you could think that we're getting through a lot of problems and through a lot of difficult times. I also feel like we're in a really great time with really great possibilities and opportunities to, like, actually evolve, right? Like, to make that evolution happen. So just the fact of, taking some time and thinking about that just like inspires me, like being able to be in this moment. So yeah, I'll pass it to you, Livy.
Thank you. My computer is so slow, I think it's overheating. So hot in here. For me, I've been really inspired by the conference by ETH Barcelona, just by how people felt like family so much. It feels like the whole movement, of regenerative economies that we've been working on feels every day extremely inspiring and something I'm grateful for all the time. And just meeting people that are like passionate about what they've been doing and kind and wanting to make things better. And it's such a relief that this exists, that we're all here. And yeah, so for the topic today, I'll pass to you, Bear, to share a little bit about the work you did last week. Let me put a link in here. So Bear facilitated Softgov last week, and there was this really great exercise to map the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats in the TEC. And there are some responses that I thought we could go over and maybe take some time to go through them and map them. I think if we took like 5 minutes, we could each one of us put a star or something. I'm not the best on Figma, Jim. Oh, I need to log in. Yeah, we could put a star or a signal somewhere, like the ones we find relevant to talk about. And if you just want to share a little bit more, Bear.
Is there a link?
Yeah, let me post it in Softgov.
Yeah, thank you, Livy. Yeah, so this was a cool exercise, that we had last week. I think it's a good idea what you're suggesting, Livy, what we could do. But I don't know. I was, like, part of my plan is to gather as many people's opinions about this as possible, to at the end, have like a more truth and more general signaling of the whole community. So, like, personally, I would be really curious, and I would really like if you guys here in the call would also like to fill this in. Maybe we don't have the time during the call if we want to talk about what is already here, but maybe after or at some point you could just like take some time and fill this in. I think it would be really appreciated, and to make this like more reachful, right? So yeah, I don't know what you guys think.
Anybody here in the call last week? No.
No, everyone here is new to the exercise. It was just like Jean, Irene, and Durgadas that took part of the exercise. So those are the opinions that I got.
Cool. So we can do it again. Is everyone down?
Yeah, totally.
Awesome.
Great.
So I posted in Softgov the link. We can all jump in there.
Yeah, and everyone should have like edit permissions. Hopefully, I'm also not really good at Figma. This was like my first board. But if you have any trouble, just like let me know, and I'll try to figure it out. So maybe we could maybe we could try to do it as fast as possible to fill the hours in, so we can maybe have some time to also start like analyzing the comments and discussing some ideas. So what I would maybe suggest is that I could maybe explain it, or I don't know if you guys have already heard about the SWOT analysis before. It's, basically just like coming up with the strengths, weaknesses of an organization. That's more like internal stuff that you see inside the organization, and then looking at the opportunities and threats that has more to do like with the outer space, like the external space of the organization. That's kind of like the difference between the two. So the idea is just like to think about everything you can think about on this, and just write it down, and then we can start seeing like if there are things in common, and if there's like some kind of trend or something like that. So maybe what we could do, I think, is maybe we could take like 5 minutes on each. I don't know what would be better, if we could like stop on every section after the 5 minutes and discuss maybe a little bit, or if we do it like all at once, fill everything in, and then we start discussing everything at once. I don't know what you think, Livy. What would be better?
I think doing all at once probably easier, and then discussing in the end.
Okay, yeah, sounds good. Yeah. So if you guys, we can take, I don't know, 10-15 minutes. We can see how that goes, and when people stop writing, then we'll start discussing. And if you guys have any questions, just let me know.
Iram, for you that you're so new in the community, feel free to share your first impressions, and if there's some that you don't know what to put, don't worry about it.
Okay, thank you. Yes, I have a lot of first strengths impressions, and then maybe less so with opportunities and threats, but I'll do my best.
Awesome. One still writing?
Almost. Done.
How's everyone else doing?
I'm done.
I'm done as well.
Yes.
Perfect. So I think maybe what we could do is maybe one of us we could start like from strengths, and maybe one of us could just read them out loud, everything, so we kind of hear what others people have to say. So maybe for strengths, Irem, would you like to read them?
Yes. So Livia said, culture of gratitude, Ostrom's 8 principal layer, vibrant community, education opportunities, token engineering practices, and a bonding curve held strongly in the bear market. Jeannie said background, support from senior token engineers, strong cultural layer, potential application of the augmented bonding curve, ostensible willingness to being open to new thinking, and finally partnerships with other strong partners like TE, Gravity, Block Science, Longtail. Hi. Irene said participation of same actors in different working groups brings connection. Culture permeates strongly as a container that invites everyone who comes into sync with it. Walking the talking, depth of exploration in the topics, amplitude of knowledge in many areas, allows collective intelligence to emerge, values-oriented layers of external support, and evolves continuously. Bear said culture, T infrastructure, committed contributors, experienced contributors, funding with no external attachments, ability to iterate, modify, and adapt. Dargidas said commons culture supports the token, vast economic and crypto competence, not afraid of the complex. There's a healthy diaspora of contributors, willing to look at what stops us from moving from simple iteration to evolution. Friendly, open, accepting is consistent across working groups. Zap branding and reputation in the space, many talents in the DAO, open culture, relations inside the DAO looks really healthy compared to other DAOs. Iram said strong sense of cross collaboration among different working groups, multifaceted interdisciplinary approach to problems and products, an easy to navigate weekly orientation and onboarding process compared to many others, and a diverse team of contributors. And he said strong culture, incredible attention to detail, information-based decisions, lots of experience in a wide range of topics within our contributors, mission, vision, values, and interest in the self-development of our contributors.
Awesome, thank you. So now maybe what we could do is just like to give a round of what you, if you want to comment anything on what you wrote or what you just heard, like any comments, any ideas. if maybe we could start with Septi.
Yeah, something I'm seeing a lot is like, our branding is pretty cool. Like, no, I don't mean the logos and stuff. Like, people know the TC. That's something I'm noticing on conferences when I'm going there. And then it's like people also like love what we're doing. It's like people, I don't like, they're not joining us, don't know why, but at least like I feel like the vibe of like people really love what we're doing. And when we also talk about our products, they are so excited. So like I feel like our strong tool is like the the branding we have and our reputation, and together with our mission. I think those are our two most strong. I'll pass it to Enti.
Thanks. Yeah. I think that what I sense is that we all. One second. Um, one of the things that we like the most is the culture. How strong is the culture, and how, I'd say, resilient. Some DAOs haven't had the same luck with time, and especially with the market. And also, the expertise and the people that surround the community. And I think, to what Septi said, um, it's quite easy to feel somewhat identified with the necessity and the mission, vision, and values we have for the token engineering space. I'll pass it over to you, Bear.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, I also really resonate with what Septi is saying. It's like the TC found a need, or like a great opportunity uh, to provide or to start like growing and expanding this field, because like it can really affect and it can really change basically the way we live, right? The way we do things. So I feel that's something that people really resonate with. But it's also like interesting why maybe we're not having more involvement yet, I would say. And also something that I really found interesting is what Irem wrote about orientation and onboarding process. Uh, I guess from my perspective, this was also like my first DAO. So I didn't have that in mind, like being able to compare it with how's the process with other DAOs. So I think to have that as a strength, that talks really good about the TEC, right? Even if we see that we can still improve things, to know that this is like a good place to onboard and to start your DAO journey. I think that's really something to be proud of. And yeah, I'll just pass it to Livy.
Thank you. Yeah, I think the culture is really amazing. I think in the TC, the culture of gratitude and how everyone respects each other, and how there is an excitement for collaborating. And I think the TC provides a lot of value for the ecosystem too, for the DAO ecosystem. And there was a lot of opportunities for applying token engineering along the way, like the ways we decided everything collaboratively, and just expanding also the view of token engineering into something not only technical, but embracing the cultural layer and how the social impact and everything is important for, it's like a core part of economics. And I'll pass back to you. Okay. Or Irem, you still have to go.
Yes, I'll say the same honestly, especially with fresh eyes and as a newcomer, the culture is from the first moment, it's been just feeling so welcoming, and there's so much collaboration. It seems like I joined many different working groups, and it was just a lot of overlap, just people, even though maybe that's not the main working group they work with. I think the cross working group collaboration is really impressive, and yeah, such a great culture. It seems like everybody's already embodying the values TEC are in TEC's mission and vision, especially in a cultural perspective too. I also come from a non-technical background, and I feel kind of so empowered to learn about the technical sides, but also just see all the other things that I can do within the community. Anyone else not go? No, right? Everyone went.
Yeah, I think that's everyone. Thank you, everyone. So next, maybe Livy, would you like to maybe read the weaknesses out loud?
Yeah, sure. No financial sustainability. There's very few token engineers in the market, which makes it hard for us to become the selling point of token engineering. Not so many tokenomics initiatives happen. Rewards are enough to give a good lack of active token engineer participation, rigidity of culture, lack of token utility design from the outset, lacks mobility in stewards, needs better documentation of what is needed in different dimensions and timelines, needs more interoperability between working groups, needs more sources of financial resources, more visibility of the framework, work organizational, etc. Have better accountability systems, TE infrastructure not used at its full potential, token holder engagement, not economically sustainable, lacking income generation and running out of funds, not having spending controls, not having much token utility, better coordination within working groups and between working groups, clear roadmap of what the TEC is doing for the next 1 to 3 years aligned to his vision. Poor internal narratives result in poor external narrative communication, particularly regard to the culture we've built that people have to discover when they come rather than us promoting it. Denial of legacy cultural and social patterns. Legacy thought patterns from the abusive, extractive, colonized systems remain. Not enough token engineers are attending the cultural and shared language communication trainings, revealing a bifurcation between the cultural and technical aspects of TC. Not really a DAO as power remains too concentrated in a few people, especially in terms of token holdership. Not enough stewards are either. We don't have a circular economy value is being leaked out. Let's see how the ABC behaves when there is less money on the common pool and reserve. Lack of comms, so much operations in the commons, really expensive. Lack of developers, real value of the token still to be seen for the moment is only a bunch of dice sitting on a reserve. Not a big visibility on social media. Very complex path to obtain TEC token for newcomers or mere mortals, quoting Gideon's phrasing. Sustainability loop isn't quite there yet. Lack of accountability. I worry we may not be able to quickly react to events as even though we're doing great. There's a bit of rigidness. There's a fair amount of complexity to what we do and use, T, CV, ABC, etc.
Perfect. So would anyone would like to start commenting on any ideas or comments? Enti, would you like to maybe begin with?
Sure. I guess one of the things that's worrying us the most is um, the lack of revenue or sustainability overall, which I guess I'm proud to say we are, putting a lot of work into it, but it's not there yet. Um, I see a few comments on communication and narratives, etc., and then a few things on accountability, whether that's with comments with on stewards, and also spending controls and stuff like that, and I guess I'd say the inherent complexity of token engineering, especially as a nascent field. Uh, so, for example, to my comment, the conviction voting and the augmented bonding curve, it's a bit specialized for people that this may be their first DAO or whatever, and also token engineering itself. So there's still a lot to do, a lot to document, and the token engineering academy is doing great progress, but it's very recent. Um, and yeah, I guess that's where I'm at with the weaknesses. I'll pass it over to Iram.
Yeah, so yeah, I was gonna say the same with communication. Maybe I personally said, again, as first impression, I expected maybe a little bit more visibility on social media. Not that it's a measure of success, but I just think for to onboard more people to kind of just be known more, not only for people already in the ecosystem, but for people who are newly exploring Web3 and people who might be interested in token engineering space. Yeah, and another thing I've been noticing a lot is goes back to token utility and maybe being uni-layered, and that also connects back to some funding issues during bear market. And I'll pass it to Liviade.
Thank you. Yeah, I agree with the token utility and the financial layer. It feels like we started to look at it quite late. And I think this is an underdeveloped discussion in the whole the DAO space. So I don't think it's like all TC's fault, but definitely when dealing with public goods, it feels like we still have to investigate solutions for that. So it's great that we're doing that now. It would be even better if we started before. And I also agree with the marketing, like comms. Maybe because we never called it marketing, it didn't really hit that point. I feel like it would have been important to have a little bit more of presence and a narrative that is maybe a little more academic, not in a very serious way, but for inviting the people that are thinking about tokenomics to see the TC branding and feel like they resonate with it also. And I'll pass to Zatu.
Thanks, Levi. Yeah, I also I think we are token engineers, but we don't even have developers. I feel like that's something it's a year almost since we don't have developers. So, and yeah, I also resonate a lot with comp. People should be we really need to have an art. That's something very early Jess was working on, but then this work stream got stopped, and that's kind of sad. And yeah, I also want to I see two people talk. It's lack of accountability, and I mean I don't see any case where someone said they were going to do something and they didn't do. And we also know how we spend every day. So when we talk about lack of accountability, what exactly are we talking about? Because that could get improved for sure. And yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and I think I'm the last one. So for what I'm looking here is that there are like different topics across the TEC that people are like identifying. One that I think is really important, I think, is this part of the narrative, and I related with what I wrote about, having like a clear roadmap, or like because I think the vision is there, the vision for the TEC, but maybe we don't really have a structure path of how are we gonna get there. Like I'm talking about like with objectives, like more structure into that, having deadlines to achieving those objectives. And I think that's really tied with the narrative part of it and the marketing part of it that you guys are discussing. But then I also see other things, right? And sometimes, at least, I feel a little stressed out, right? Because you don't know like where to start. So I think another important thing to consider is prioritizing. Like I would think that once we are able to identify the different things that need to be worked on, an important step would be to prioritize. Like what are we starting first? What's the most important thing to solve before anything else, right? And yeah, and start from there. So yeah, I think that would be what I would say right now. So maybe we can jump into the opportunities section. Septi, would you like to read them?
My pleasure. Let me open this. Okay, Livia says, funnel the T demand to understand better the needs of projects and give data-based information to aspiring token engineers. Having tokenomics discussions happening frequently. Yeah, I love that. Host program parties in other communities share knowledge. This is happening. Will happen at least. Map what proposals we would like to fund, give examples, and connect to people projects based on that. Then Chin says, chance to implement innovative utility, good time to build new structures, chance to find new revenues by managing treasury to produce extra yield, emerging services economy, token engineering academy fundamentals will bring new T talents into the fold. Irene said, use T to address the weaknesses, add more dynamics that bring the practice of what it wants to do outside into the inside as living example, build a commons ecosystem in different spheres, educational, financial, capitals, and cultural, support more commons projects. This is also happening. Bear full potential of ABC and T technologies having an impact not just in the Web3 space, but also in the real world. Partnership and coordination with other DAOs, pioneering in the T field, funded projects, proposal inverter, T academy, cat praise, disrupting all kinds of industries and fields with token engineering, having an impact not just in the Web3 space, but also in the real world, pioneering in the T field, serving as an example for other DAOs in terms of coordination and organizational structure. Durga, we can try cutting edge stuff like sociocracy, deep democracy, liberation structures, non-violent communication, etc. We should create some kind of MPE, minimum viable engineer status for these that would require participation in both technical and cultural aspects to achieve. SEP evolution, create tools and culture branding is supporting it. Become a selling point, accomplish it would be huge for us and for the world. Open source token engineer. Have a nice missing which make it easy to capture new. I don't know what I typed in here. Have a nice missing which, wow, I don't understand. Make it easy to capture new talent who gets driven by our shared goals. I cannot think now. RET is around thanks to the partnership with the T Academy, IREM, more creative external communication, and becoming a pioneer in the spreading the word around the regenerative benefits, vision of sustainable ethical token engineer, a more formulated onboarding mentorship program for newbies to become a real world impactado, educational initiatives to onboard new talent, token engineer academy students, etc. And NT, the token engineering field is quite promising and we are in the best position to grow with it. Some other DAOs have already started to use some of the practices and things we have developed huge opportunity space here. And yeah, that's it. Back to you, Bear.
Great, thank you, Septi. So maybe Livy, would you like to start maybe commenting on what you think?
Yeah, sorry, my computer is so slow. Yeah, I've been thinking how I think there's this relationship between TEC and TE Academy that it's it's so powerful and delicate at the same time because both organizations need to survive and need their own budgets, and how to find the ways where one is supporting the other and not like competing in any way. So I think, yeah, education, having more token engineering initiatives in the TEC feels like the right thing to do, but also how to not overlap with what the TE Academy is also doing. So maybe creating like a funnel for TE Academy alumni to come to the TEC and collaborate in a certain way. I think the most promising thing now that it feels to me is the TE services intake. So by gathering data, like people look for tokenomics, they approach the TC looking for token engineering for their projects, and then all the information that they can provide can be so rich for, for all token engineering, especially aspiring ones. And I'll pass to Irem.
Yeah, I think as much as we've talked about maybe low token utility right now, I like Jeannie said, chance to implement innovative utility at this point, and I think Sampo is already looking into a token gated channel within Discord and maybe some other opportunities. And then yeah, I guess also a lot of educational initiatives people mentioned here. You're right, since TC wants to become a Shelling point, I think more outreach about those educational initiatives and can also take a form of a library and just a place that people will want to come both for resources and also for expertise, opinions, etc. So lots of opportunities there, and I'll pass it to Zep.
Thank you. Yeah, the one that was not missing was the mission. So I feel like we have like a very beautiful mission, and if we, it makes easy to hire people, even like and we lack money. Like if the mission is important, like some people is willing to take the job, which is awesome. And yeah, also reasoning with what we're sharing, like people, when they think about tokenomics, they come to the TC. It's sad that we can't provide the service yet, but it's something like Sampo, Tam, and Gideon I know like they are working very fast on that. So yeah, I think that's an awesome opportunity. I'll pass it 20.
Thanks. Yeah, I liked a lot what Levy said about the Tech Engineering Academy and the TEC. And I think we should sort of delegate the education in that sense. But I put a comment there that said like the tech engineering field is promising, is very promising, growing fairly fast, and I think our biggest opportunity is to take advantage of the direction of the field and how can we, say, position ourselves as the how we like to say this selling point of for the token engineering. And again, I think the consulting services and other things that are coming up are probably the best way and in the right way to do so. And that's really where I think is our bigger opportunity. I was a bit distracted. I'm not sure who's left.
Yeah, so I think it's just me. Yeah, I will, because we're also running out of time a little bit. So I will just say that I also really like what Irene wrote about trying to find the answers we are looking for to solve our problems, like in the inside, and using actually token engineering. That is what we do to solve our weaknesses. I think that's really powerful, and I really like that. So to finish with this, in the last 4 minutes, Enti, would you like to maybe read the threads?
Yeah, sure. So Libby said lack of funding streams and not enough experts in house. Dean said bear market has impacted token price and contributors enthusiasm. Potential looming recession to compound the bear market. Significant inherent risk in managing the treasury and moving any funds from the common pool. New membership is seen in response to the lack of overall enthusiasm in the field, and culture may not be adaptable enough to respond to new threats. Irene said security, depending on grants, depending on the first layer of collaborators to continue the same culture, and not not linking Web3 activity to real life activity, thinking about international, economical, and political context. Bert said talent leaving the DAO, recession, bear markets, not fulfilling our mission due to lack of coordination, and security issues like scams in the space. Dergaras said wills and concentration of power and rewards. Septi said bear market, low capital, feel that our launch timing was not the best. Talent could potentially leave if we run low of funds. Not being careful how using our limited resources, and low volume on the ABC, basically low volume of holders, only 400 something. Irem said low token utility, and as said, burning rate with little but promising revenue. Overestimation of the growth and need of token engineering. I don't personally think so, but I guess that's a risk or something that's just starting. Failing into the charity of the commons, and the competition. I don't like the word in this case, but say competition being faster, moving faster.
Awesome, thank you, Enti. So if you guys would like to maybe, I don't know, probably we won't have time. There's 1 minute left, but maybe just like some last comments overall about the exercise, maybe, and what you thought and whatever you want to say.
One word.
Sorry, Septi, I couldn't hear you.
One word to close. I mean, just a suggestion.
Yeah, sure, that's a good idea. Yeah. If you wanna start, Septi.
Bear market. Passing 20.
I don't think the bear market is that of a thread, actually, and I think we are in the perfect timing, I guess, because if we were in an up market, we would probably be less conscious about how we use our funds. So I'm kind of happy about the bear market. For me, the biggest threat is on the short term is our high burning rate, and on the longer term, failing into the charity of commons, like not being able to overcome that. I'll pass it over to Lydia.
Yeah, we're on the top of the hour. Just want to respect everyone's time. That was a really great exercise, Bear. Thank you so much for it. And I would love if we can keep passing to other people and have more inputs. And then eventually we can map the answers and understand pathways of action with it. So thank you everyone for joining.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Ver.
Vivi. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Livy.